stage was nuts all the way through. I'm honestly pretty impressed. Again,
I don't know if we're live.
I
We're not
think.
live? Are you sure?
I can't watch it on the link at least.
Let me try
Are you?
it.
Are you? No, yeah, we definitely are. You're
Yeah, we're
definitely
live.
lying.
Oh
Okay,
shit, my
cool.
YouTube's
Yeah,
fucked
okay.
then.
Okay,
Oh, we
Oh,
just went live.
you're
Pog.
such a dweeb.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wicked.
again, I'm still surprised that Navi is looking so strong and yet shit the bed so thickly, so viscously in PCS EU in 7. But honestly, they're looking like real contenders, so we love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple of clips ready for Navi. If you guys want to talk about anything in particular,
Yeah.
we can go to that.
Give me the screen share for a second. I want to talk about Navi.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let me.
Because they were there we go. They were super dominant on day one. Obviously, they got like 3 wins in a row. But I've went ahead and just drew in the Circle 8 location, and you can see their loot spot here. It's a little bit deceiving on the Erangel game, where again they loot basically exactly where the game ends. They go all the way up to Potato Hill and they come back down. That game was not free at all for them, but it's definitely not the hardest games in the world. And when you're looking at how the games went, where they didn't really get the circles and where they maybe got punished here or there, you can already get me out of the screen share. That was it.
Okay.
They play really, really good PUBG. And they're really cracked. An example is really cracked, and they play strong PUBG, but it's not crazy. It's not like they're pulling wins out of everywhere. It's going to be super interesting to see how they do in the finals, because I think they're a contender. But even though they've been dominant in groups, I feel like they've had their fair share of circles.
Is an interesting one.
Yeah,
actually, that like if you go back a few years, Navi was like always the team, and not even just like exclusively in PUBG, but like CS:GO as well. Navi was the team who did everything super late, like rotations. They were like one of the original Edge teams.
Yeah.
But now they're getting so much success when they get the zone favor and playing from the center, and struggling when they don't. I don't know if that's just necessarily because, back in the day, people just weren't as good. And you didn't have like cracked as heck teams playing the Edge from the Asia region when they were playing and competing. But I don't know. There's just a weird, interesting sort of transformation of that team.
I think playing Edge has become way harder than it used 100%. To be. But it depends on the lobby a bit. I think it always depends on how many teams are playing center and how many are playing Edge. But sorry, Chunks, I kind of sort of half cut you off there.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
There was one situation, if you play the clip from example, where they were playing Edge and they just get a new Happy just cruising into them.
I'm trying to find which clip it is. Hold on. Yeah, there it is.
It's the example clip or something,
I think this is it.
That's the one where they're playing Edge and you see Tyloo Sia there in the Wizard Tower. They clear their Edge, killing this guy, and they just get new Happy just coming out of nowhere, just flying into them. And even though example goes absolutely massive, and we'll see here. By single hand solos and the duel comes really late. And we'll see some beautiful like barrel half grip action. But it kind of goes to show that Edge playstyle isn't like safe at all in lobbies like these, where you have a Pero, you have a new Happy, just 4-man crashing a compound, and suddenly you lose one of your best players. Suddenly you're getting third-partied. While you're watching example go absolutely mad, you'll see on the minimap that Yahoo is already running out as well, and that's going to cost Navi this game basically.
Yeah, Yahoo has been another team that's been really good at doing that. It's like when they have a position, even if it is like a safe one with a decent spot in the zone, they hear fights, they're going to third party, and like in doing that, not only are they getting points from getting the kills, but you're clearing your back end a little bit and making your own side kind of safer to play from the sort of mid to late stages. But I just love the fact that it's new Happy kind of dogging down Navi on the end, considering what we saw today on Miramar in the second to last. I mean, it might be in the last Miramar game, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on, I'm sure. But it really does just go to show that playing Edge is rough, and the teams that are able to find success doing it are just insane.
Yeah. It's the more consistent play style, but in lobbies like these where you don't know what teams are going to do and teams are insane individually, not even that play style is super consistent. So I think the performance we've seen from Navi to get a few kills out of each game. That game, again, they got like 5 kills out of that because Example gets 2 himself, and they got the guy on the Wizard Tower before it. Getting a few kills out of every game is massive, and I think there's 2 teams that have really shown that. So we'll talk about Twisted Minds a little bit later as well.
Well, let's talk about Twisted Minds, because we just spoke about Na'Vi, and we've already got this clip lined up, ready to go. Who was it that posted this? Do you want to talk about it a little?
Well, this was obviously, we're talking about Na'Vi being dominant, and, you know, we looked at a couple of games where their loot spot was sort of crucial to this. This was maybe the one outlier to that on day one of the 3 wins that they got. The fact that we're talking about an individual win being an outlier is already nuts. But the fact that, like, they're not even top of the standings at this point. 17 were absolutely popping off. They've been nuts, even without Xiaobei, and God help anyone when he does actually show up. But this was the second time that Na'Vi swept aside Twisted Minds in this day and really actually, like, completely dumpstered them in the late stages. Yahoo as well, like, they were holding this compound for the longest of times, but Na'Vi just played it so smart in the late game. And when Na'Vi gets to this point, like, at the end of the game, they are like sweeping everyone. It's not coming down to 1v1s. They're just like, they're trading effectively. They're just winning their 1v1 gunfights, and they're making it look really easy when they get the chance to close out games.
A lot of that roster is the old Tornado Energy, and those guys used to be basically macro games not that great, but you get these guys in a fight and they will dominate. And it's you can see that flashing up every now and then. And when you see Melman getting a double kill 1v2 versus Northern Knights, you know that they're like activated and they're popping off. He's not the fragger on that roster. He's not the pop-off player, but he's been performing. And I think, again, they're not always going to get every late game. I think Twisted Minds is a little bit more consistent at getting into these late games. But when Na'Vi do, they're super scary, and their team play is just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Na'Vi just popped off over the past 2 days. I don't think there's any other way to put it. Let's talk about the second place team, though. Day Trade for a little bit, because it was only, 2 points in the end? It was insanely close.
My guy's getting ahead of himself. We're still back on day one here, but to be fair, APAC in general, in the winners bracket final, I mean, anyone other than, you know, Toby, who put Cerberus in C tier on his tier list for some reason, anyone who actually watches APAC would basically have put Day Trade and Cerberus as like the clear top 2 from that region. I mean, T5, I love them. They're a really fun team to watch, but again, like, they're showing their inexperience and a little bit of nerves maybe coming in. SGD, like, dude, we know they're hot dropping and they're sort of running it down. Buriram haven't really been seen on the competitive stage for a while, so expectations maybe aren't the best. Like, Expendables have come out and looked good decently, but that is in and of itself a surprise. But they kind of fell off on the second day a little bit. But Cerberus and Day Trade have really been like consistently good, which is what like has been missing from APAC for a hell of a long time. And in particular, a certain individual young man who, when Xenox is casting, does get a lot of airtime. It's your boy. It's the man. It's the champion king of the kill leaders for day one. This guy is an absolute nutcase, and there was doubters of the boy coming in, but no, he's actually he's showing just how correct he really is, and all players are correct in APAC.
Yeah,
I think. Go ahead, Chunks.
I mean, he's popped off out of nowhere, hasn't he? He's one of those players that came into it as, I mean, he did well in PCS, and I mean, he did very well in PCS. Obviously, Cerberus ended up absolutely stomping that one. But specifically Tycoon, it feels like he was an undervalued player coming into it, and I will admit I was a bit of a doubter Saga. I didn't think that he was going to be able to do quite as well as he ended up doing, but you know what? I'll admit I was wrong on that one, and I've been wrong on quite a lot of things so far this PGC. I'm just going to say that it's all too unpredictable and leave it at that.
It's always a good excuse when it comes to internationals. I think the main thing that impressed me for Tycon is sort of like he's cracked, of course, but it's like he feels like a super experienced player when you watch him play. He doesn't really make any obvious mistakes, which a lot of these young guys that are insane at aiming, you know, they put themselves in positions where they get knocked flushed and stuff like that. None of that. And then he's so confident. Like, he gets a 4-man United pulling up into him, and he gets one knock. He goes to nade the other 2. He goes, pushes around, repositions, just wipes them all. No problem at all. No doubt in his mind. And if he can keep up that mental, even though they now barely missed out on winners bracket, if he can keep up that mental, I think they're a serious contender for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Can we just we pull up the first half of the day one standings? I think
first half of the day one standings.
Yeah, the top 8 for that. So obviously we've talked about Na'Vi, Dumpster, and Kids. 17 were really, really strong once again. It's 2 big surprises to me at the end of day one. Obviously BBL in there is a medium surprise because they're a coin flip, but Take Me Away again, still looking good, considering that's a team that I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know why they're at PGC, considering like the whole Jufu situation. And yeah, it's really strange, but it's good to see. Yahoo as well. They have been really, really good, even though, you know, last time I was kind of I was vaping Sparking a little bit, but he didn't really have a great day one, but Shinboy picked up the slack. Love to see it. So Yahoo have done really, really well as well, and it's really good to see that NA is still picking up some big games despite the fact that best in the world Sonics are not even making it to this point, but E United and Yahoo are there to sort of pick up the slack, so it's great to see.
There's one team I think that really did well in the previous round, and I think have maybe let things slip a little bit now, especially when we look at the standings after day one. What was going on with Twisted Minds the other day?
I think some of it is just variance. It's 5 games, right? Shit happens. Perfectix as well. He had a good interview at the start of the day where he was like, "Well, we know we made some mistakes, but we're actually happy with our day one because things didn't go well. We're still super close, 28 points, not a big gap at all." And if I was sort of going into the stream today, and I was like, if you pick one team that's going to qualify, obviously out of that bottom half, it's so obviously Twisted Minds. Their consistency has been insane. They never really falter, at least not for long. And even in Europe, where they played the worst PCS they have in years, they still ended up in second place just because, you know, they're Twisted Minds. They're Northern Lights. They just get points all the time. I think it's pretty wild how consistent they are.
It's very telling on the point about consistency, especially for Twisted Minds, that even on what we are looking at and saying wasn't a good day for Twisted Minds, they are tied for 3rd place in the most placement points picked up with an average of 3 per game. So their average placements was 3rd place in day one. And obviously the kills were a little bit lacking, and that's really where they were falling down. But they're on the same amount of placement points as 17 Gaming, who's in 2nd place. Obviously Na'Vi is miles ahead with 3 wins, but like the consistency to continue making it to those late games, eventually it was going to come in their favor. Obviously they got picked apart by Na'Vi twice on day one, but as soon as we actually get into day number 2, first 2 games they walk away with the wins, and we're just like, oh well, there they are, they've shown up now, and they're pretty much qualified just based on those first 2 games today.
And nothing of Circle 1 on their loot spot, nothing. Just classic Northern Lights things, like coming late in on the edge, doing their scouting, figuring out a rotation that no one really would have pulled off in the Azaha game, like just random stuff that they do better than other teams, and then just cleaning up late games. So I'm not surprised at all that they do so well. I'm a little bit surprised of what we've seen from Question Mark while we're still talking about EU maybe. Yeah, I mean, apart from that, it's been a lot of EU dominance, and I'm pretty happy. You're not biased at all, by the way.
Of course not. We spoke a little bit about what happened today. I think we should break it down a little further, because I'll be honest, that last game today was one of the most exciting games of PUBG I've watched in a long time. It was so close.
It's great because as much as a 10-game series is going to have a lot of randomness in it, and it's not going to be really the best amount of sample size to decide who the top 8 really is and really should be, and the teams that are more like consistent and less streaky and peaky aren't going to have the best of times potentially, or they might just pop off completely. It was still a very, very exciting game 10, particularly a sort of 3 to 5 minute stretch through the mid game. And I think we might as well just skip the rest of the day, because outside of, you know, that one time where Na'Vi camped New Happy on the edge of the blue zone and picked them off, which was like vengeance for the day one thing. The only real part that was like oh God, it was insane. The whole situation in the final game. I think we've got like 3 clips that settle it, and we can literally look at the times on them. They were within 5 minutes of each other, and it was very, it was heart pounding for a lot of the different teams because the cutoff point for top 7 was like 10 points above where the cutoff point for top 8 was, and that means that there was so many teams that were so damn close to stealing away that 8th place spot. But oh man, it was so rough for so many of the teams.
Yeah, I've got a couple of the clips here. I think we should just maybe go through in order for anyone who missed things today. We're going to start off with match 9 because Saga, I know you're going to love this clip because it's APAC, and I know how much you love APAC teams.
Now, okay, this one was just an L. Watch the kill feed.
What's the fucking buggy rolling in? Just
Belmoth got knocked out of his car, and the car kept going and ran over Norins. That is painful. Obviously, they were in a pretty rough spot there anyway, so it's likely they're going to lose the game. But could have maybe got a revive, could have maybe tried something, or at the very least got that extra point or two that could have ended up with them just about overtaking Na'Vi. They did actually have the advantage in terms of placement points, so if they got 2 extra kills, 2 extra points, they would have qualified in first place, but doesn't really matter all that much. Again, as long as they made the top 8, they're chilling.
Yeah, exactly.
Aggressive on to Danawa. A few revives have come in, but Poochill's angle has continued to hold strong, and Flash has a grenade to try and finish it off.
Absolute has been revived, picked up at that timing. Norins and Flash, the dynamic duo from Thailand, combining on to Danawa. 3 down, only Lambu remains. He's actually close to the solo.
Bangers today.
Yeah, I think Daytrade is well, I agree with your point. Daytrade is the least APAC team out of the APAC teams, sort of. And they show that every now and then with stuff like this. I don't think... I think they're also just going to be the most consistent APAC team. They almost pulled it back to win the lobby, and we sung the songs of Na'Vi and Twisted Minds and all that. And Daytrade almost just pulled up at the end to win the lobby. They go a little bit under the radar for me, I feel like, because I've just been so used to them getting consistent points and Flash winning every M4 red dot spray battle he ever takes.
He's
but
nuts, man.
they're mighty impressive. And the other APAC team is something that we'll have a clip of in a second here, I think. That's also been
to the shoulder, people. That barrel doses out in the open. What a flash from Lambu. Solozzi continues to play the tree, but Lambu's pushed up. Lambu should win from here.
He hits him with a little bit of a drop shot towards the end.
With a clutch play for
Shout out
Cerberus.
to Coach Check
loses. I feel like
he's been a huge impact on the team. But that was the point. This was after Daytrade practically dogged down Cerberus, killed off 2 of them. 1 more died to, I think, Danawa or something. And we're like, okay, Cerberus is the team that's holding top 8 right now. And it's not good because New Happy and Yahoo were like the closest teams. They had the 2 arguably best positions in the zone. Cerberus was down to Sololzi, who's been subbed in and out of the team. That 1 extra point that he was able to pick up there and then survive a little bit longer to try and get some placement points. We were like, okay, 52 points. It could be enough, but it's super scary. No, it looked like it was all over until the next clip.
BBL still with 3 players alive.
They've also clip. Okay, which clip am I looking for here?
Have you got the New Happy one?
I have not got the New Happy one.
It's not a big deal. It's probably the worst out of those clips.
Yeah, it's basically New Happy was in the compound, the old yellows on the field south of Yaz. They were the team that was closest to Cerberus. They were like 2-3 points away or something from overtaking them and qualifying. They were 4 up in a compound that was decently close to the center. They get pulled up on by Greg Shot alone, and they start fighting. 17 Gaming hears the shots, runs in, and just wipes everyone out. So New Happy, the team that was closest to them, gets obliterated. They're out of the game. They don't have enough points to overtake Cerberus, and we're like, oh god, it's up to Yahoo now. Yahoo can overtake them. They're like 4 or 5 points away. They had Heaven, but then they're getting breached by E-United.
BBL still with 3 players alive. They've
again.
also got sort of a points
and they're like, hey,
now.
there's 3 kills over here. Let's just go and take them.
KDF still with 4 out. They too can kind of look towards this. Not from Poonage. That's 1 onto Lukos. He has 1 frag grenade available.
I can slow it down.
Can you look at the live leaderboard on the left? Cerberus is on 52. Yahoo had 4 alive in this compound a minute ago. And it was like, all right, there's no chance that they get less than 3 points, right? Like they've got 4 up. They've got no problem at all. And then EU pulls up, claps down 2 of them. I think Question Mark gets 1 of them. And suddenly it's just Shingo left who needs 3 points.
Not from Punich, that's one of the logos.
Alone versus 70 Gaming and Question Mark and United in his compound.
Sends it out with a prayer attached and he gets the knock on the shout as well. He needs to confirm these without dying at the same time.
He was trying to go for the flush, but it bounced over the ridge and got a second knock. Yeah, whips out the crowbar. And then 17 Gaming, they lose their last one. It's actually flood from somewhere with an SLR. Yeah, but those 2 kill points. The 2 kill points.
They don't know it though. That's only for us to know.
And then also the placement point is the big deal, the big decider. So, and that was just enough that for them to tie on points. They had the placement point tiebreaker, which is horrible. Really, really rough. But actually, I have to give a shout out to Trang Lee from my Facebook page.
Here it comes.
I got a Facebook page. I will give credit. I'm not just going to steal it. But Haisaki and Duck Mai, both on the Vietnamese team at Nations, picked up 2nd place above Sparking with Team Brazil at Nations because of the tiebreaker rule change. Yeah. And now it looks like it's been paid back because Sparking overtakes the 2 of them on the tiebreaker that was changed. Oh, and look at them. They were so stressed.
That is a story and a half.
Crazy.
That's wild.
Just keep an eye on Balefrost here because I feel like he's the one who probably had the, I don't want to say best reaction, but he probably showed it the most. And I also want to apologize because the last clip I had sent to the wrong audio device, so it may have just blasted out full volume and deafened everyone. So I'm so sorry for that one.
Yeah, it seemed all right to me. I didn't hear at least. Maybe the viewers got absolutely wrecked, but I didn't at least.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, you see how much it means in this clip. I mean, the smile on Sparking's face, the fact that like, this is the best part. Bale is just, he looks in shock. He looks so relieved. And you know what? Credit to Yahoo, because I'll be honest, I didn't expect them to make it.
Look at Sparking putting his socks on.
I think that, I think that coming into this, I would have expected them to be a squad that we maybe expected to see make it to the grand finals through the losers bracket, but I personally didn't expect to see them come out this hard, get into the winners bracket, and then take it in that final game.
How many teams have done horribly at PCS 7 and done
even qualify
super well at PGC, and how many teams have been owning at PCS 7 and have absolutely choked it at PGC? How are you supposed to predict anything? Like, look at Asonics completely throwing everything away. Look at Question Mark.
T5.
Look at Open Peakers. Look at Yahoo. Like so many teams that didn't even make finals, and now they're popping off.
BVL. They were close to. BVL is the other team that in the final game did have a chance. I think they ended up in like the top 4, but they ended up like 5 points away. They weren't super close, but if they had somehow closed out the game, they would have overtaken even Yahoo and picked up the win. So there was so many teams that were so close. That's always how it's going to be in a 10-game series, and it makes it even more like, if we're now looking forwards and we're looking at the lower bracket where only the top like 4 teams go through from the lowest bracket too. So top 8 tomorrow moves on to play against the bottom 8 from today. And then only 4 teams from that go through.
That
means if that was the case in this lobby, Twisted Minds isn't in, Danawa, Yahoo, all not going to make the finals. So we're definitely going to be missing some big names in the grand finals. But I think we should... did you get the graphic that we sent that has finally now been actually posted on the Twitter? We can whip up and give a shout out to all the teams that did make the grand final. So Take Me Away, again, a surprise. Danawa, nice to see that. Salute. Shout out my fantasy boy. Yahoo, and all the rest. But the losers bracket 2 teams, again, the losers bracket's going to be pretty stacked considering some of the teams that didn't even make the winners bracket finals, like Petrichor Road and Tropic. Like there's some big names still in there.
It's going to be spicy. And like you said, top 4 is going to be absolutely wild. Top 8 is in 10 games, has some RNG to it, and is tough, but it's a completely different ball game. Top 4, you have to dominate the lobby. Like, look at these teams.
Yeah.
17 Gaming, Daytrade, Na'Vi. United maybe been more of the quiet variety, sort of getting their points every time and not like popping off as massively in this like winners bracket as they did in the group stages. But still, like, massive amount of points. It's gonna get so rough, and the teams, they have so many chances, but it feels like once you've missed this chance, once you've missed the upper bracket chance, it just gets painful.
I need a screen share real quick because Daytrade's social media guy has absolutely bonked it with this one. We showed the clip from number 9, game number 9.
Norin's, oh god,
Norin's getting absolutely clapped by the vehicle of Belmont at the end. Oh, I'd love to see that. That's funny.
That's
good stuff. Good stuff, Daytrade.
It's a point deny, dude. I mean,
classic. Yeah, tactical.
Just making sure that they actually, beat out 17 Gaming.
Yeah, it was very close between them, to be fair. So tactical.
So
I'm excited for a losers bracket. Should we have a look at the standings?
Yeah,
we just did. Yeah,
we had a look at the teams. Now, I have just noticed something. Our plan was to do the Twire pick'ems, but they haven't actually added all players to it yet. They've only got the players directly through.
We're doing losers bracket 1.
Yeah, it's fine.
So we're good.
It's good.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Losers bracket 1 is the 8 losers of each group.
See,
it's not the teams.
This is the problem with this format. It's too
confusing. Yeah, there's a lot of steps to the format.
They should have just called it like winners bracket, middle bracket, losers bracket, or something, or upper, lower, middle. Just but it's fine.
All right, we're good.
So should we make a start on that?
Absolutely. We're reversing the order. So big K-Dog is going first this time.
K-Dog going first. All right, I will screen share because there will be a little bit of thinking involved. Let me know when you've got me.
Cut to you. Yep.
There we go. That was not the play. All right, there we go.
Press F11 for me.
Jesus, fucking elitists. So the prices are pretty interesting. There's a lot of very expensive players that haven't done all that well, but because this lobby is full of teams that haven't done all that well, it feels a little bit weird to pay 36k for an Ionix.
It's kind of like a subjective rather than objective pricing, right? So these prices are considering this is the lowest bracket, I think.
Yeah. And the one main observation I've made is not enough EU teams are bad, and there's only 3 EU teams in this bracket, so it's going to be hard for me to make my choices if I want to get a full EU roster again. But I will swoop up an incredibly cheap Vex.
Damn it.
Oh no, that was my first pick.
I expect him to perform and bring some massive value.
All right. I guess at that point then it's my go, right?
Good stuff. Yeah, you.
I guess at that point, like I'm kind of out of options here. I think I know who I want to go for, but I want to get someone locked in who none of us have picked yet, because I think that he's one of those players that will always impress, and that's going to be Pio. I think he's a really good value pick for 26k, 26,400. But I mean, just everyone knows Pio for a reason, right? That's all I need to say on that one, I think.
In the group stage, I was like, you're never gonna pick Pio. I feel like his team was just not up to the level. In the lower bracket, I'm not so sure anymore. That could pay off for sure.
I think that he's way more worth it now.
Yeah.
Saga?
Groovy. So again, the thing with this, because the pricing is weird, the low end picks are not that cheap, and there's not that many of them. It's crazy to see like H-Win 15k, but again, SGD is still in the lobby, so they're more than likely, I don't know, at least playing from territory that they don't normally play from. I don't expect that the hot drop is coming through again. With that said, I am going for... I'm going to put Purdy Curdy in.
Okay.
Yeah, Purdy will be my number 1.
32k?
Well, that's what I mean. It's like there's a lot of players around 20k, so you can sort of splash.
I can see myself spending 80k in this
yeah, right.
I
that's never happened before.
For the LG players, but I couldn't justify it really. I felt like too much of a gamble.
So Purdy is in. I'm also. See, I've got a pick in mind that I don't think is going to be contested, so I will save that one. I will put Noadra in off of the Boriram team. I think if they're going to farm anywhere, it's going to be lower bracket. And I'm not risking putting in Chexing in case he gets swapped out for Godmeow again. So Noadra's the boy. He's gone in.
Reasonable.
Okay. My next pick. I can go a couple different ways with it, but I'm going to go with one that is very gamble heavy. I think it's going to be 777 from the Expendables. I think that in terms of actually getting that damage, getting the kills, he can do it. It's just a question of whether Expendables are on form or not. I think it's literally just a case of, is it the right day? And I think that all of my picks kind of come down to that. Is it going to be the day where they shine, or is it going to be the day where everything goes horribly and I end up getting -30?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you're betting on teams that looked bad in the group stage, right? So it's never going to be pretty. I want to keep betting on Polish Power and hope they come back. But I think the main pick for me right now is either going to be Evas. He's not cheap enough. I'll screen share really quick for a second.
Okay.
Just to give people an idea of what's going on with the Entropic players. We have Kube being at 33k.
Dude, what?
He's usually the hard support. He's the guy that holds the back. He's the guy that's just chilling out, smoking teammates. Lukerux, IGL, gets a lot of kills because he makes solo plays, doesn't get a lot of damage. Nalub, biggest ADR farm at EU on 18k, and then Evas on 17k. So I'm going to swoop up Nalub. And just hope he gets to use his mini, because then I'll be absolutely fucking rich.
Damn, you're going for a real buff team, it looks like.
Yeah, I only get jacked players on my line. All right, cool.
Chat gaming only.
I'm pretty sure you get another pick, don't you?
Do we reverse the order, I think?
Yeah, so I get first on the second row, yeah? No, we don't. No. So now it's Saga first, and it's me in the middle.
We go two. All right, so once again, I have a player in mind that I want, that I don't think is going to be contested. That's my last pick. I have backups, potentially. In fact, screen share me so I can show who it is. Cheeky.
Yeah.
Yes. Very nice. Very visual.
I'd love to see it. So, well, because you can see who it is if I do this. I didn't think this through. But let's say he's around this area. I'll put that in. As much as I like T5, if I buy one of them,
around
I've got
that
no
area,
money left.
Saga, you'll have 30k left, no? No, you have 20k left.
Yeah, 20. So I'm putting in Gizera because young players popping off is what I live for. And he really big time popped off in NA, so he's due a pop off on the global stage if Tycon is anything to go by, and Tycon is love, Tycon is life. So Gizera will be my third. I'll have to wait till last pick to put in my final player.
Cool.
Okay, so is it Kovo next?
It's you now, then it's me twice, then it's you, then Saga.
I'm getting too confused. All right, so I'm having a look through here, and I've not really done any prep.
You wouldn't think it was the third time we've done this.
I think I'm going to have to go for a Polish Power player just because my entire squad is based around the whole gambling of will they do, will they not.
Coin flipping hard.
Yeah, I think that this squad kind of perfectly embodies that, so I'm going to go with Norcus.
I think coin flipping is a good thing to do in fantasy because who cares if you get 15th or 30th? Like you wanna hit a top spot or you bomb out, it's fine.
Exactly, and it's with this bracket in particular, I think that's where the gamble is going to pay off.
All right, give me the screen share for a sec. I'll get my 2 picks. Oh, that was quick. I was not ready for that.
I was prepared.
Jesus, dude, you were ready. Hovering on the buttons. Better than the director. Never mind.
You've been watching Kowo's watch party streams. He's had a lot to say about that.
I can't help myself but hate on the observing.
Toggletown.
It is who I am. I'm thinking about picking Tiggleton. I'm just trying to figure out where that puts me for my 4th player, because I'm picking twice now.
Agreed.
And I'd like to bet on a Polish Power. And that leaves me with so much money left that I could pick an Aexleft.
Good.
And that is a pretty massive lineup. But I don't trust Aexleft. But then again, it's lower bracket. Like these guys, they drive around the circle, 4-man in 2 cars, crash into a compound, and kill 4 people in there, you know? And that's going to be a lot easier in this lower bracket. So rather than praying that Sonics can fix their mental and pull it out of the bin, I feel like putting in Aexleft and then putting in a Polish Power player is pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And I kind of just want to believe in Cappy. I kind of just really want to believe in Cappy pulling it back. That's my lineup.
Pick a captain.
Done. Pick a captain.
Well,
you know, I'm in a spot where this guy costs almost double as Fex, and I still want to captain Fex. That's how weird the prices are. I was going to say the same thing.
I would go with Fex if I was picking between him and Aexleft.
Yeah, I too enjoy.
Yeah, maybe I know some info about Fex and he's not actually playing.
I like running it down too, so I could do it.
I am committing. Fex is the man, and he will carry me to victory.
Oh, okay. Saga or me? Let's go.
And then me last.
Okay, so my final player, and this is only because Fex was taken, is going to be 80. Just because I think that FaZe, I don't see a world where FaZe don't do half decent, and I think that 80 is going to be my safer bet.
Oh,
that's my logic. Safer.
I didn't realize
I see a world where FaZe don't do half decent. That is my problem with that Fex pick.
You can say that about every single team in this bracket, though.
Look, no team in this lobby feels safe. I had my Twisted Mind pick in the group stage where I was like, I'm not worried about this. They're fine. Na'Vi, probably fine. Who knows? But like now it's like, doesn't feel safe.
Damn.
All right, Kovo, are you all right to pop your last 2 over in the spreadsheet real quick, and then Saga?
When you pick your last pick, just show off your team real quick. I think that's nice.
Yeah. I'll pop it all up in a second.
Yeah.
True. All right, so I can now reveal who my super secret pick that I didn't think was going to be contested was.
It's an APAC player.
No, I've already got one of those.
Oh.
I have actually broken my golden rule of pick 1 from every region, though. I've got 2 NA boys in there, but NA has been doing good, so fair enough. But I'm now caught between my wild card pick. Yeah, Chunks, do the thing. Press the button.
Yep.
Bam.
Just do the screenshot.
Wham, bam. My wild card pick, Savior, off of Gex.
Right.
That was the one that I was looking at, but I didn't realize that Diggory was down here so damn cheap. That is very cheap for Diggory, and if FaZe does FaZe things and clutches up, he's done really well at PCS. And as much as NA has done well, I think EU has probably done just as well, if not better. So yeah,
if you're looking at the way that FaZe sucked in groups as well, is they just got they played decent PUBG and just got shit on a bunch of times, and I feel like it's just going to happen so much less now that there's a good chance they actually do pull up the comeback.
Yeah. With that said, I am going to take a hefty risk, and once again, because I'm a big Tycon enjoyer, I'm going for the young boy, the young man who can frag like a maniac on a good day is captained, and I'm just going to hope that he does it, and I get double the points for it. So Gizera will be captaining my team.
That is a style captain, bro. 18k captain. That's pretty sexy.
Love to see
All
it.
right, let me real quick just fix something, and then I will pull in all of that up. But
nice transition, by the way, Chunks.
Are you guys happy with your picks? First of all, let's go with that while I try and fix something.
I am really, really happy with my lineup, considering it's a lower bracket run, because it feels like you're just picking between the worst options. But then I look at the names on my team, and I'm like, that's goated.
They're not the worst options.
Cappy is risky,
not at all.
but he's as good as any other Polish Power player. So if they get their mental reset, if they get anything going, he's fine. Nelob is an ADR farmer by definition, and then Fex is super cracked. Axleft is an absolute monster. Like, what's there to improve on that team?
It's kind of mad looking at the names on these teams and thinking that Ko has spent 5k less than either of us on those players. But at the same time, yeah, it's lower bracket. So we're all hoping that FaZe pop off because we've all got a FaZe player. But everything else, like spending 30k on the expendables is a risk. Even captaining Gizero is a risk. Cappy's a little bit of a risk, I suppose. But also Nailup he didn't do anything in groups. So there's kind of a risk there. So we have to take risks because it's lower bracket and all these teams are pretty inconsistent. But I think all of us have got teams that if they do well, like on a good day, these teams could very easily do some pretty insane stuff. So I think we're all good.
I think that's kind of the theme with everybody in this lower bracket is just, okay, they're here for a reason. They're squads that have consistency, but not necessarily all the time, if that makes sense. Like they're the squads that will get a couple of points every game, that have these explosive matches, but when we get to the global scale, it gets much harder to get those couple of points every game that they used to in the region. So I think that's going to be the deciding factor here for the lower bracket, and I can't wait. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about going into the losers bracket tomorrow, or is that it from us?
I think we can pretty much call it here. I mean, we'll have another episode of this. I've enjoyed this like a little bit of shorter episode because we only had 2 game days to talk about.
Yeah, it's like a clip review.
I like it. Let's maybe turn this show into more of a highlights thing. Comment if you want us to do something a bit more like that.
Chunks wants to do shorter episodes, guys. Comment
it's just
on
so much
that,
easier.
Chunks doesn't want to do this. Buttons. Chunks is busy. Chunks want to go out and.
We'll have another episode in 2 days.
Chunks wants to hang out with his fiance.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Next episode, same thing in 2 days, right?
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah. After the losers bracket 1, we'll be hopefully have time to put a fantasy together for the losers bracket 2/middle bracket. And just look at all of the clips, which I have no doubt are going to be stupider than the ones that we have seen, with maybe some exceptions. So Chunks, how about we play us out to that little compilation that I threw together? The funny moments
you for this one.
From the winners
funny
bracket.
Moments compilation.
Because there was some weird stuff. So let's just let this run.
By the way?
I don't know, dude. Like, I think it's just something to do with the Korean rating, colorblind mode being weird. I don't know. It's crazy, but
oh, you got transitions between the clips.
God, it's not a cube zoom though. I'll be honest, Saga. I'm a little disappointed.
It's not a cube zoom. You're right.
But this one, hey, watch the car.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh, that's a rough one. Yeah, this. I think that the winners bracket has been that opportunity for so many of these teams to make these all or nothing plays and not have to care about it, knowing they have a backup plan. And you know what? I think that makes it so much more exciting. What was that from Belmont?
Yes,
crazy. Also, this nade.
Oh yeah.
PUBG, please fix it.
Oh my God.
What happened?
There's so many of those. It's like, imagine like casting this nade and just going absolutely mad, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, 0 damage. Yeah, you look like an idiot now. Bye bye. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, that man sold Belmoth. That man like didn't pick Belmoth or whatever, or he wanted the barrel. He's picking up a barrel off his body right now. Like, he just went yoink.
He got
my barrel now.
By his own team smoke. Poor guy.
They could have won that game, maybe.
Yeah, that was a big moment. Even just getting 2 extra points, and that would have been like nice. First place would have denied Na'Vi a win potentially too. But hey, there's been some funky moments in winners bracket, and I expect in losers bracket where everyone's a little bit more chaotic, perhaps. There's going to be plenty more. So next 2 days are going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun. There's going to be some teams who look real good in the losers bracket again, and then maybe get crushed in the finals just because different lobbies make people look so different. But yeah, it's
short
nice.
format, isn't it? That's the danger of it. These best of 10s, it's always a bit of a risk. We'll see though. Losers bracket starting soon. That's it for us. We'll see you all in 2 days for the next episode.
Sub to the YouTube, like the episode,
subscribe, comment, like, all of that stuff. It helps out in the algorithm a bunch. So it literally takes 2 seconds. Please help us out. We want more people to see this. I think it's pretty fun. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining. Have an amazing evening, and we'll see you in a few days.
See you guys. Bye.